You can buy hundreds of books on time management and watch video after video after video, but girlies, truth of the matter, you need to start taking life more seriously. And if you've somehow landed on this video and you want to really level up your life, let me tell you, I am not going to sugarcoat things in this video. I will tell you things as they are. So if you want to get your life in order, here are a few actionable steps that you will put into practice the moment you are done watching this video. You promise this to yourself, and I promise to you that you will see a shift in how organized and how easy flowing your entire life is going to become. Let's build you a schedule that actually works. Point number 1 is to introspect. I'll give you the tough pill to swallow first. If you are truly passionate about something, you will make time for it. And if you're avoiding it, it's very simple. You're just not interested in it. So be honest to yourself. You're intrinsically not wanting to do it. Ask yourself why, and take a sheet of paper, write down all of the reasons you don't want to do a certain thing. Then take another paper or take your notes app or your WhatsApp chat or whatever you want to use and write down whatever you've done since the morning. If you're watching this in the morning, write down whatever you've done a day prior, everything from morning to night. What do your mornings usually look like? And here, be realistic. Do not be idealistic. Write down what are your big goals and what are your small goals. Let's say hypothetically, my goal is to write another book. I will put this down on a timeline. How much time do I want to give to myself to write said book? For some goals, you might want to wait till you have certain resources. Let's say it's more funds or more education. For some goals, you can start right away. What are goals that you can work on right now? These are the goals for which you have the resources readily available already. There are also going to be some goals which you've probably already started. Let's say you're midway, you lost momentum and you never gained it back. Write down those goals as well. Now, a vision board can really help you over here. The vision board that I made beginning of the year, that was a 3x3 grid. So it had 9 images, and so far I've accomplished 7 of them. 2 are left, which I really need to focus on in December, but that's for another day. One mistake that I see a lot of people make is they have an overly ambitious plan. Of course, you're going to burn out if your goals are not realistic, they're idealistic. You want to learn 1 year's syllabus in one night and still score well? That's not going to happen. Be realistic with yourself. Step number 2 is the part that I love the most. It is the decor. Find your ideal working environment. For me, that is where the sun is shining. I hate working in a gloomy, dull environment. I love it when the sun is shining bright. There is nice, fresh sunlight coming into my room. That's when I feel super recharged and ready to work and all enthusiastic and motivated. Whatever space you decide, it should get you in the groove. Now, this even means decluttering your laptop. So whatever is on your wallpaper, you want to make folders and you want to put everything in those folders. So when you're opening your laptop, you are motivated. You're not let down by so many small folders and widgets and whatever else you see on your laptop screen. On your work desk, add a picture of someone you love. Let's say your parents. Add a picture of someone you look up to. It's absolutely fine. You want to jazz up your workspace. We're creating a fresh, clean slate for you to start off with. Now, some people are fresh and ready to ace the day early on in the morning, and some people get their creative juices up and flowing late at night. And let me break this myth to you. One is not better than the other. Most of us in Indian families have been told to wake up early and do yoga and start our day like that. And that sure works for some people who are morning people, but not for everybody. On the other hand, there are a lot of people who feel staying up late at night is cool and working late is cool. But when you actually start doing that, you are so tired and you're so drained and you're so exhausted. And that's simply because you are a morning person. One is not cooler than the other. One is not better than the other. After years and years of experimenting, I have now started understanding I am a morning person. I work so very well from 6 a.m. all the way till 2 p.m. and then after lunch, my energy starts going down. Try and understand, do you do your best work in the morning? Do you do your best work in the evening? When are your productive hours? Ask yourself. Try out different routines. One day, stay up late at night and work. One day, wake up early and work. Don't do it together. Do it on different days. But try experimenting with your routine. Once you find the routine that really works the best for you, for example, for me, it's a morning routine. I like to rewind the time I wake up just by 1 hour. Now, you don't have to do this instantly. Take your time with this. But whenever you feel ready to do this, this will help you so much because that 1 extra hour that you get, it's so important. You can do so much more in that 1 hour. So let's say you're waking up every day at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. Try waking up at 7 o'clock. Try going to sleep an hour early. So that way you're not compromising on your sleep, but you're also getting more done early on in the morning and you're using your productivity hour to the fullest. Your body is anyway feeling productive. Might as well use it. Next step is to use a planner for brain dumps and for your to-do lists. I've spoken about this in so many videos. If you haven't already done so, please start doing this now. The other day I tried opening Notion on my phone. That's the planner I use, by the way. I've made my own planner called the Ultimate Life Planner, which has literally all areas of my life that I'd ever want to write down about. So it has a to-do list, it has a self-care check-in, it has a habit tracker, budget tracker, movie tracker, literally every part of my brain that I want to write over there. It is already there. It's made in that way that I made it myself. You can check it out, you can get it for yourself. I'll leave a link to it down below. But the other day I tried opening it on my phone and somehow it just wasn't there, and my heart literally sank for a moment. I was like, oh my god, what am I going to do? This is a con of depending too much on technology, but there are so many pros. I will admit it, the planner that I've made is my second brain, and at this very moment I'm managing YouTube, Instagram, I'm doing my psychology degree, I'm planning a whole full-fledged wedding for myself, I've written a book, I'm filming courses, and all of this while I'm managing a fully functioning social routine with my friends and family. You think I would have been able to do all of this with just one brain? Get yourselves a second brain. You can do this either digitally, your notes app is going to be your best friend, it's free to use, Notion is free to use, or you can do it with a physical diary as well. Just have a second brain. There are so many thoughts that will come to your mind. Some thoughts you don't want to pay instant attention to, you want to leave it for later. Some tasks you want to do, maybe your boss has given you 5 other things to do and you don't want to do those right now, you have time for those, but you also don't want to keep them at the back of your mind because how much mental storage do we even have, right? Put it onto your second brain. Literally write down everything that you don't want to occupy your main brain with. My mom used to use a physical planner, I use a digital planner, so find whatever works for you. And when you start using your planner, you don't want to randomly dump things on different pages and have it all cluttered. You want to make sure this is organized as well. Instead of placing things here and there, make a checklist so that you know that you have to tick off these things after a certain point. Now, one productivity hack that I do every morning is I start off with the easiest task first. You'll hear a lot of opinions about this. Some people believe, oh, start off with the most difficult tasks, so then you can have easier tasks following and life just gets a whole lot easier. I feel like it's best to start with easier tasks. You get that boost of motivation that you've accomplished something, one thing's out of the way, and then you keep on going on and on and on. This could honestly mean anything. It could mean cleaning your room, it could mean folding your laundry, ordering groceries, sending invoices, answering mails, whatever is on your to-do list. Anything that takes less than 15 minutes to do it first. Let's talk about breaks. Breaks should be the time when you're doing low effort tasks. Let's say your friend calls you when you're working. That is not when you're going to take her call. Call her when you're taking a break, and while you're on call with her, do 5 other things. Do activities where you don't need to use your brain. These are what I call mindless activities. So something like answering back a text, which is not super important, putting clothes in the laundry, putting dishes in the dishwasher, whatever does not take too much mental effort to do. Usually when I'm in the gym, when I'm doing cardio, I'm on the treadmill at an incline and the speed is low. That's when I like to answer all of my texts because I feel like it's something that's easy. Whatever small mindless tasks you've dumped onto your second brain, do those. Usually you'll hear me say it's best to avoid multitasking, with the only exception of it being smart multitasking. Next up is having a wind down time. Now this is one thing that will level up your life. It's the easiest thing to do and it's something that you will honestly love to do. If there's one thing I hate, it is hustle culture. I hate all the talk around it. I hate when people say they haven't slept the entire night because they were up working. I feel like instead of proving that you've worked the entire night, it makes me feel like you're trying to cover some sort of insecurity because you haven't worked the entire night. Now this is just my opinion, but I feel like the more we compare ourselves to others and the more we hear about hustle culture, we start having these unrealistic expectations from ourselves which are just not healthy. This is how you burn out. Instead, set a realistic wind down time for yourself. Let's say you're working 9 to 5. You will create a transition activity. So instead of straight away jumping to rest mode or relax mode, you will create an activity which helps you ease into it. Without this transition activity, more often than not, you will still be answering calls, you will still be answering emails, you will still be answering texts from work. You will not be able to have a clear demarcated break. Now this transition activity could be going to the gym. That's what I like to do every single day at 5 o'clock. When I was in London, my transition activity used to be calling my nanny. Anything that helps separate work from rest. Every day at this exact time, you will do your transition activity. This creates a very good day break and you will train your mind to not bring office work back home. Of course, there are emergencies. I get it. Everybody does have emergencies, but as much as you can, office stays at office and home stays at home. Let's say you're working and your friend calls and you've taken that call, and without realizing you've spent half an hour of that productive, dedicated working hour talking to your friend. List down major distractions. I'm not talking about going to the bathroom or getting yourself a snack. That's fine. That's normal. Those are small tasks. I'm talking about social media scrolling. I'm talking about chai breaks. These are things that disrupt your flow, and let me tell you, once that flow breaks, it is very difficult getting back into the state of flow. Have you noticed when you're really passionate about something and you're doing that thing, you without realizing spend hours and hours and hours doing that thing, and you don't feel like you've spent too much time doing it. You're very deeply invested, engrossed into that thing. That is the state of flow I'm talking about. One small distraction like a chai break with your colleagues is going to break that flow. As a matter of fact, I have my do not disturb focus mode on every single day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. because those are my most productive hours. If you would like to watch an updated morning routine, leave your comments down below and I would love to make one for you. Next up is to challenge yourself with time blocks. Now, not every time are you going to have an interesting activity to do. There will be times when you are faced with boring tasks and you just do not want to do those boring things. Try setting shorter time limits. Let's say I need to write a script and share it with a brand. That's one thing I absolutely do not like doing. I'm more of an execution, more of a creative person. I like shooting and I like setting things up. I just don't like scripting, but I do have to do it. That's part of my work, right? And let me tell you, there are some brands who give you like a one-pager and they want the most basic scripts where you do not have to use your creativity. And those are the kind of scripts I hate working on. But that's fine. That's a topic for another day. My point is, let's say if writing a script is an activity that takes me 1 hour, I'm going to give myself the timeline of 25 minutes. This shifts my brain's focus from how boring a certain task is to how I've just gamified it. It's no longer boring. In fact, it's become fun. I have a new challenge for myself and I made a game out of it. And the best part, I am now doing this task quicker and I'm getting done with it faster. If you have to pay multiple bills or you have to answer mails that are not urgent and you've left them for another day, batch tasks together. Have a dedicated day or a time. Let's say it could be every day from 4:30 to 5 p.m. I am going to answer unanswered emails. Or every single week on this particular day from this time to this time, I am going to clean my cupboard, my kitchen, my laptop. I'm going to vacuum the floors. I'm going to take the trash out. Batch it together. When I'm filming content, I like to batch it together. I'll work on pre-production the entire week, or one single day of the week, I will sit and film 4 videos. So the rest of the days are more flexible now. I've done a similar kind of task on one single day. I don't have to put on makeup and get ready to sit in front of the camera and do an entire setup every single day. I have just done it on one single day. How easy was that? Think about ways in which you can implement this in your life. I am so very sure at this very moment there are so many tasks that you can batch. Next up is to delegate and outsource. Now there are certain things that I have accepted this reality I will never be good at, and there are certain things that you will probably never be good at because we're all born with a certain skill set that we're good at, and then there are certain things that we are just not very good at, and it's okay. It's good in fact to have that kind of self-realization. For projects in which I know there's someone better who can do it, who can handle it, and if I have the bandwidth to outsource it, by that I mean the resources. Here it could mean money, for example, to outsource it, I will go ahead and do that. If someone can do the job better, why not delegate and outsource? Just as an example, wedding planning. I am not the best at it because I do not know the vendors personally. Who does? A wedding organizer. So I outsourced wedding planning to the wedding organizers. For tasks where I feel the effort to reward ratio is a bit skewed here and there, I do not like to do those myself. I will delegate those. This way I can prioritize my productive hours and do what can actually give me better results. Things that I'm really good at and will give me better results. When I realized editing videos was taking a lot of time out of my filming schedule, what did I do? I got myself a great editor. By the way, Archita, if you're watching this, I love you. This editor gets my vibe, gets how I like my videos edited. I did spend some time explaining what kinds of fonts and what kinds of colors do I like, but after that, my life just got a whole lot easier and now I can prioritize and work more. Now I can work more on my Instagram, I can work more on my shorts, I can work more on YouTube long form videos. And you don't always have to delegate and outsource to be able to work. Sometimes you can even use that to rest. You can even gain more free time. You can gain more free time for your friends and your family. You can spend more time with yourself. These are all benefits of delegating and outsourcing. I was reading this book the other day which is called Let It Be Easy, and I've spoken about this point in another video as well, but I just wanted to bring it back here because I feel like this is so relevant in this video. No matter what you do, no matter how organized you are, there will be times when you will go all out, you will go crazy, and that is what was happening with me all of the last 2 months. Wedding organizing is not easy, let me tell you that, especially not when you're working full-time, even if your job is flexible like mine. One con of becoming so organized is you will start seeking perfection from others and from yourself as well, and with that comes micromanaging. And when I realized I was micromanaging even the smallest of things like what color of pink is going on the card, I realized that's what's leading to my burnout. That is why I'm overwhelmed. So I went back to the book I was reading, which is Let It Be Easy by Susie Moore, and I asked myself, okay, how can this be easy? And trust me when I say this, life can always be easy if you let it be easy. If you're rushing against a deadline, ask for help. If your friends are hanging out but you've scheduled that time for self-care, you just want to have a nice bubble bath bath and light candles and read a book and have green tea. Say no. Fill your own cup first. I know most of my audience is female, and I want to tell you girlies that you need to start understanding and start being in sync with your body's natural rhythm. As women, our biological cycle changes, and so do our productivity levels. There will be times when you'll be super motivated and super pumped, but there will be days when you just want to stay in bed and watch a movie, and that's absolutely fine. What I want you to do now is to try out your ideal life for a week. Be realistic, not idealistic. Try it out for 1 week and see what works for you, see what doesn't. And when you have things that are working for you, especially ones that now you've learned from this video, build your organized life from there. Think of motivation as a fashion trend that comes and goes. On the other hand, think of dedication as a classic, a piece that you should have in your wardrobe. Speaking of classics, I do make a lot of videos here on this channel that help you level up your fashion game as well as your self-development. So if you do want to level up, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you liked this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something from it. I can't wait to hear how organized your lives have become. Do leave a comment down below if this video helped, and I'll see you very, very soon. Till then, bye-bye.